Hi guys, welcome back to my rabbit hole of K-pop. I am Atomic Rabbit. Happy New Year! It's the year of the Black Rabbit, so this is definitely gonna be my year. I hope you're ready for this one, because I'm planning on doing like a full review for Halazia. The day it dropped, I was at my auntie's because I wanted to disappear from the city center, because in the Netherlands we have fireworks going off the whole day, the 31st of December, and then during midnight it's this whole war zone, and I really don't like fireworks, so I decided to disappear to my auntie. So I wasn't at home, which is why I haven't recorded the reaction the day of comeback, which on the one hand you may think is a shame. On the other hand, it has given me almost a week to listen to the song. Watched also a couple of reaction videos from different people. I've watched some of their live stages. You know, I've been able to dive into it and I've been able to collect my thoughts about it. There are so many things I would like to touch on. And I feel like this song, this MV, this masterpiece from ATEEZ deserves more than just a, oh my god, it's so great. It really deserves your full attention. So that is what I'm going to give it right now. And since their own reaction was posted to it today as well, it is perfect to include that in this video. So I hope you're ready. Grab yourself a cup of tea or a glass of water or whatever. Install yourself comfortably and let's dive into Halazia. I think I'm as ready as I'm ever gonna be to watch this one again. She says, for the nth time. But this is going to be the first listen with these headphones in. It is such a movie. Okay, right away I need to stop. So I'm gonna be stopping a lot for this first session. And then I'm gonna watch the whole thing again. Just give you, like, me fully diving into it and not just watch me react to it. Okay, so I watched Dre's reaction to it, JRE, who for me is one of the best K-pop reactors in existence. For me, he's an authority in the field, and his reactions are very much his reactions. They are his opinions. He does it in his way. But he said something, or he may have a bigger point than he thinks he has. He said that because Songwa is this all-white figure, and he looks almost like radiant. And then in that scene where he's in the middle and all the other members are around him and he does the Halazia, it's almost like he is their savior. That's what Dre said. He said like he looks like he's gonna save them all. He might actually have a point with that. Also, I've been looking into the lore, the ATEEZ lore. There's an account on TikTok. They do short clips, like explanations about the timelines, about how the whole story gets together, how it's all woven together. I have to link that somewhere for you guys to watch it if you really want to get some more into the story. And since we're getting more MVs that really touch on the lore, I think it's going to become more and more apparent in everything that they do. I think that ATEEZ have established themselves as, this is what we do. Like, their roots have grown. They are here. And because they are here, there is more space for them to share their lore, to take us really with them on that ship. If this makes any kind of sense, I'm saying all of this and I'm listening to myself and I'm wondering if you can make sense of it. But I feel like we have come to a point where they are secure enough in their positions in what they are doing, and it's not got to do with popularity or the amount of award that they have or haven't received, but I think it has to do with their self-confidence, maybe, or maybe it does have to do with the affirmation that they're getting from the outside world that what they're doing is so insanely good. Okay, also Songwa starts this off, but it almost sounds like San. I don't know if that is done on purpose, that you hear and see Songwa sing it, but you also hear San. And for me, Halazia, San's voice is always present. It's like you can always hear him in the back. This oh, that movement where he does this with the fingers and they look like sparks of something, but it's so sensual and it's so pretty the way he makes that movement like this, and Sun is just coming through it, and it's like the epitome of teamwork but also desperation almost. It's Sun he's giving me some sort of desperation, and Songhwa is giving me some sort of destructive power. And I feel like the members, they all have a very specific role in this, even if they don't know what their role is, because I've read San's PM's translations of it, and that ATEEZ were asking him, like, are you dead in the lore or timeline or whatever? And that San said, I have no idea. I don't understand it either. At this point, the only person who gets it is Hongjung. So even if maybe they do completely understand it, it could be, because we know they like to fool us. But they all portray it. They have understood something. How do I say this? I'm going to the concert with a friend of mine. And for her, it's the first concert. I got her into ATEEZ a year and a half or 2 years ago. Ever since she learned about them, she's been wanting to go to a concert. She couldn't go last year because she just became a mother, but now she can. So we're going, the both of us. But she wanted to know the story. She wanted to know what is happening because she's seen the MV. She's listened to the song. She knows there is a story behind it. There is a message. There is this whole thing going on. And we were talking about it. And I said to her, the very amazing thing about ATEEZ is that even if that lore, that like ATEEZ Greek mythology almost story has been planned by KQ, and ATEEZ has taken it to make it theirs, and they are giving it shape the way that they're doing, even if it's almost strange that some of those stories seem to coincide with the members of ATEEZ personalities, like Jungho with his sports and then his accident and how he can do his sports again, Mingi with the way how he feels distance, like these are in the story, right? Like Mingi, how he feels distant from everyone else, how he feels in his own world, and he had to take a step back for 8 months. Songhwa with his self-doubt, San with his wanting to be friends, wanting to be with his friends, not wanting to move from places. There are so many elements in that whole storyline that seem to match so well with these members. I just want to know, like, did they know they were going to get ATEEZ? Did they know that ATEEZ would develop, like, the members, that they would become these people that just fit that story so well? Or did they adapt that story as they went? Or how did that all come together? Because it almost seems unbelievable how it all fits. Okay, that's for now. Also, before I get to this part, because this part just merits a whole pause on itself, Sam and Wooyoung together are like fire and ice. Wooyoung gives me some feeling of destruction in his power. Like, he has a similar sort of thing going on, I feel like Songhwa. And I'm talking about Halazia and their performance, also their performance on stage, and the vibe that I'm getting and their facial expressions. Because if you really look at the fan cams, you can see how each member is shaping their performance and making it really theirs. And Songhwa's really follows the line of the song, like the No More Emotion, especially at the beginning. But there are some lines when Jungho is singing the chorus part, you can see Songhwa's face is almost, it's like almost in pain, but it's a mixture of pain and sadness. And those are just little moments, because all the other times he's got this authority, like, you won't be able to go against him. And Wooyoung has a similar thing going on. And Wheeong's voice is relaying power, and a power that is for me at the same level as the destructive power of fire. Whereas San, on the other hand, he is, maybe it's more water than air, and then I'm going from ice to water to air, but of different things. I told you at the beginning, there's so many things I want to say about all of this. But San is his performance, his presence for a while now. The Fever series, and now with Movements and with Witness, sadness and desperation that Songwa also showed for like a second. So maybe that's that move where someone does this and then San comes in. It could be that San sometimes is piercing through the hardness, piercing through armor, and he is trying to get through, to get them together, to get that team. What I also find fascinating is the outfits. There's another person on TikTok who does reviews on stage outfits, and she did a review on the first live stage for Halazia that they did, where they were wearing tweed outfits, and they were all black and white. And she said tweed is a very expensive fabric, very expensive fabric. She said, but the way that the stylists have given form to these outfits is they're non-conformist because of the work with various patches, how the beads and the pearls that have been put on the costumes aren't like in a straight line, but they are just in weird shapes and strange forms, just divided over the outfits. And it's very expensive and very classy and very, status, but they made it revolutionary. So they took something established and made it into something new. And I found that very fascinating. And this is where you got to give it to those stylists, like they're geniuses, because we always compliment them on the choice of outfits for ATEEZ. But now that I heard that person explain the thought behind the fabrics that are being used, they go the extra mile. It's not just they're looking for an outfit that suits that person's shape and form. It is part of the story. And we probably knew it already, but to this extent, I'm not so sure. But I want to point out that, and if you look at the live stage for the Music Bank performance that they did, but the first win, yay! They are in black and white outfits, and some members are in full white, meaning Sam Wheeong. Some members are in black and white, and some members are completely in black. And I've noticed this more often, that there's a division of certain colors per member. And it's always the same members that have either both colors going on or just one color going on. There is something in there. But what that is, it's gonna become clear, and it's super fascinating to me, and I wish I could, follow the story, but for me it's become more like a novel that I want to read. I want to know the next chapter, and I genuinely appreciate and very much enjoy the ATEEZ who got into that lore and who was making those TikToks, and they set up a whole document and stuff. But yeah, that's what I wanted to point out after Wheeong and San's little thing. And now this part, the power. I love how it shouts. It's full, it's wide open, it's coming from the chest, but it's coming from deep, and it's going far. It's reaching super far, and it's not out of, well, no, that's not entirely true. I was gonna say it's not out of desperation, but if you listen to Yuno, and then listen to Songhwa, there's a difference in the way they deliver their lines. You know, even when he performs it on stage, he looks like he's detached, but the way he is giving it all that power while singing is like, for me, it's piercing through my chest. Whereas Songhwa, he is roaring like a lion. There is so much power. Oh my god, this image. Oh wow. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, this is amazing. I'm sorry, but this is just everything. The contrast between the gray and white, how he looks like a ghost with that black hala scarecrow behind him, and then those yellow accents and this sort of concession. Oh. Do it. Oh, Yo-sang! I am so happy to see and hear Yo-sang grow into the artist that he is. I'm happy not necessarily because he's getting the opportunities. I'm happy because he's taking the opportunities. I remember him saying once that he doesn't feel like he's enough, or like, not, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting exactly what he said because I can't remember exactly what he said, but I remember it was something along those lines where he doesn't feel confident enough. If you go to the previous songs from ATEEZ before this one, you can hear how the bridges and even chorus parts that are the same, that come back in the song, that come back different times in that song, they will be divided between often 4 or 5 members. Very often it's Hyuno and Uyongor-san, and very often it's Songhwa Yo-sang. And Yo-sang has this unique ability where when he sings, he can sound like one of the other members. But when something is really his, and this part is his, because he isn't sharing it with anyone else, this is his. They could have shared it with either, Mingi, Songhwa, because we know that they can go very deep with their voices. But no, this is Yo-sang's line, and it is fully his, and you can hear him. You can really hear him. And there are a couple of songs where Yo-sang really has his own line and it's really his part, and he doesn't really necessarily blend with the others. It's also so powerful. And if you look at the way he moves during those live stages, it is so beautiful to watch, because he's like a wild flame, like a wolf leading a pack. Yeah. His eyes are creepy. When I saw this at first, I had a completely different feeling than what I have now. Because when I saw this the first time, I got sucked into that almost religious vibe, where, especially because of the bells, and in combination with the almost religious movements, like Songhwa just spreading himself out, and it looks very religious. And I'm seeing and hearing a lot of people saying, like, this is a cult, or it's very, not this is a cult, but like, this is giving me the feeling of it being a cult, and this is a cult I could adhere to, and this is a religion that I would gladly follow. And yes, but no, I'll explain that one. Yes, it feels religious, and yes, it does remind of a religion, because there's all these people that are walking in the same direction, there's all these quotes, there's all these religious elements, not in the least the bells that are tolling. But what I'm getting from those bells, and I haven't been able to shake this image and memory from my brain and from my being. It is reminding me so much of Notre Dame de Paris, which is, I think it's most famously known as The Hunchback of the Notre Dame, the Disney movie, but it's based on a novel by Victor Hugo, and it's one of the big French novels. And now we had to read that in school, and my French wasn't good enough at the time, so I never fully understood. I still have it here. I really need to read it once, but it is reminding me of that. It is giving me revolt. It is giving me, we have been told to do things a certain way. We can't do that anymore because it is going against every fiber of our being. It is going against individuality. It is weeding out people that are the most precious in the world. It is rebellion. It is all those feelings coming together and exploding like some festival. And that is what those bells are giving me. Those bells are giving me madness, but also passion. And in addition to that, it's also giving me Les Miserables, which is again French, but the French were famous for revolution. So it's not necessarily religion. It is caused by religion. Revolution is often caused by religion because it's sticking to rules and it's putting your head in the sand and it's not speaking up against injustice, which is weird because that is not what religion is in the basis. But both Notre Dame de Paris and Les Miserables, I haven't been able to shake those two from the feelings in my chest that this song is giving me, but also in my brain, like these images that I have that I connect to when I first saw the Les Miserables musical and when I first watched Notre Dame de Paris. And I've also watched the Notre Dame de Paris musical. And the songs that are being sung in there are so comparable to Halazia. This is a musical piece. And that is also how they are performing it on stage. Can we just, before Mr. Hong Jung himself is taking it away, can we just please just never underestimate Jung-ho, ever? I'm just so baffled every day by people who didn't know he could dance like that. It's almost making me angry. That man, I think he sometimes underestimates himself because he is such an incredible dancer. All the members of ATEEZ are such incredible dancers. And I love that he is once again participating in the choreo while singing like this, because he is singing his lungs out. He is singing so powerfully, but then he's also executing this choreo, which is as powerful as the chorus is, hyped up by that beat going on behind it. His chest pump are so satisfying to watch. Hong Jung is, I can't say he's the most unique rapper in the world, but he is definitely one of the most unique rappers in the world. I've had 7 days to think about all of this, guys. This is a lot of information. I know that. And we're not even 2 minutes into this MV. Hong Jung has those two opposites where he has some kind of almost lazy rapping tone and rapping rhythm, which he's using here in that first part. It's very pronounced in his mouth. It's like almost like it's just there on the tip of his tongue, and he's just, sort of letting it fall out. And it sounds very lazy, but there's that cadence in it that makes it very, I'm talking a lot with my hands, I'm sorry, I can't stop it, addictive to listen to. But then against that, he has that piercing with a very unique tone of voice that is fully his, which is slightly higher pitched, and it's very sharp and very piercing, and it's almost like a sword, and it's so clean. And he's using that later on in this song, so he's using both. Mingi does the same. For Mingi, this is his clean voice. And it's interesting because Hongjung starts with his lazy voice, and then Mingi starts with his clean voice. But Mingi later on comes with his lion's roar. Mingi goes hard with his clean voice as well, and he can be very sharp. And it's very nice to listen to. But then he has this roar going on where he's just throwing everything in it, and it's raw, and it's almost growling, and it's very, there is a word which I can't find because my brain is not giving me brains, prehistoric, but I can't, it's for lack of a better word. I mean prehistoric as in you have to have respect for it. You know, those animals that have been on this earth since there was life on this earth, or turtles. And I know it sounds really weird, but you gotta have respect for that force of nature. Mingi sounds like that force of nature when he has his roar on. And with that hair, it just becomes even more lionesque. And this part, Uyong, San, Jongho dancing together. The contrast between the black of Jongho and the white of Usan is the desperation. The eye, it's left eye. This, oh my god, this, the composition, Songhwa in the middle, the black scarecrow behind it, those people covered up, the yellow flags, the placement of the other members next to Songhwa in the middle. In this choreo also, the way they go from that bridge to this part, how they stand in line and then they all sort of crumble down and Songhwa just rises up from the middle. And this is where Dre said that this was religious and he's their savior, which I think he does have a point. It's just so beautiful. Also how he portrays that Neo-san is this isn't clear. The transitions in I almost feel like crying. The transitions from musical elements and the build-up is not only vocal, but the build-up is also in the rhythms with that bass and that bell just tolling, that bell just calling for revolution, and then from that bridge with Yuno's emotion and Songhwa's almost distant coldness going into the build-up by the rap line, who do the complete opposite of what they did at the beginning of the song, to the drum and bass, and then an epic ending. This sounds. Okay, I know what's coming next, of course, but I'm gonna watch it from the beginning and then, you know, watch it till the end. But I haven't talked much about Uyong, I think. Well, I took him into consideration, and that's mostly because I just can't put into words what that man makes me feel in terms of emotion, because his voice is so beautiful. That's what I wanted to say. I was almost gonna forget. So, you know, in Songwa have that first pre-chorus part where they really just almost shout sing. San and Uyong have it for the second time, right before Yosang's line. I have never heard San sing like that. That's one thing. And the second thing is I've never heard Uyong sing like this. Basically, I don't think I have ever heard this much from either of them. This much emotion, this much power, this much raw force of nature. And I have been drowning in this song, and I have been drowning in this performance ever since it came out. It is everything music is supposed to be. It is everything that a voice is supposed to make me feel. It is everything my eyes want to see. It is every movement that I would like to see a body make in a choreo. Honestly, BB Trippin, they have outdone themselves for this one. Watch that choreo over and over again, and you will continuously find new elements that are so right and so beautiful, but also so beautifully executed by the members. Only ATEEZ can do this. Only ATEEZ can bring this to life. Hongjun wasn't lying at all when he said that. Only ATEEZ could do this song. It's because this was made for 8 different people, functioning as one unit in their individual shapes, forms, with their individual styles. And you can see that in the live performances of this beautiful choreo. All the elements. I think that choreo has I think as a whole, it's my favorite one. Okay, I'm just gonna drown in that, and then we're gonna watch the reaction by the boys, and then I think I have talked enough for the foreseeable future. It looks like it's going toward thanks, but then no. No.
Oh no, 모든 것이 말라가네 yeah. We all try but we lose emotion. 점점 밀어가며 익숙해져가. 마음이 들어가네. 묶여버린 자유 속에 내 안에 이 작은 fantasy. Oh Halazia, Halazia, Halazia. 듣고 싶어 난 사랑의 숨소리를 알고 싶어 난 소리를 잃은 작은 파랑새야 속삭임이 들려오는구나 시작되는 깊은 울림 세상을 뒤집을 목소리.
He's so handsome. It's just cinematics in this MV. Numb. So almost numb, like he wants to. The styling in this MV. Oh, Sam. So powerful. you know what just hit me? I want to know what this is. It's like the next chapter. I want to know. I want to continue to read this book. I said like the beginning. It gives that feeling of it's gonna be Thanks, and Thanks. It's like this warm summer vibe and warm and nice, and it starts all like, oh, this is gonna be a warm song, and then it drops, and it's this kind of cold, dark world. And then it continuously just
하나, 둘, 셋! 안녕하세요.
gradually becomes this that revolution, that explosion. Like Mingi says, like, give me that hot passion instead of cold despair. Like, it's going from cold to we want to get passion. And it's all just shouting out. Also, that part where Uyong-san and Jongho dance together, it's very interesting to see how Jongho grabs San and then Uyong splits them up. But in combination with Jongho's eye, it's like Jongho is sort of... And he's always all black. But there's no good and bad side. So... See, this is what I mean. I just want to... Okay, we're gonna watch this. These are the outfits, by the way. The tweed outfits.
Day 1.
네, 드디어.
내일 드디어 컴백입니다.
벌써 이렇게 됐네요.
네, D-Day -1. 내일 이제 컴백인데 저희가
Also the hair,
뮤직비디오를
like...
드디어 보네요.
네, 준비가 됐다고 합니다. 이제 완성이 됐다고 합니다. 뮤직비디오가.
저희도 처음 보는 거잖아요.
설레는
네.
거만. 저희도
바로 볼까요?
처음 보는
너무
뮤직비디오.
보고
기대돼요?
너무 설레. 기대돼요.
저희 이번 뮤직비디오 촬영지 어디죠?
태국이요. 스케일 너무 컸잖아요, 저희.
저희가 오랜만에 로켓 촬영을 했기 때문에 하시겠다.
우리 뒤에 가까이 있어.
자, 간다.
아, 이거는 여전히 나와야죠. 마우스 올려야 되나? 그래 안 보이나?
그래.
Sorry, that was my fingers on my chair in case you heard that. That wasn't a fart. That was just my fingers on...
오, 또 그래 진짜 좋다.
야, 색감이 영화 같다.
와, 영화 같긴 하다, 진짜.
노래 시작이
크더라.
근데 이번에 찍을 때부터 좀 약간 별 떠 있어.
그래,
오,
좋아요.
사람 제일 진짜
꿀을 많이 쓰다. 와우. 손가락 나온다. 오!
세람이.
뭐야? 무슨 시기야? 우산! 왜 이렇게 부딪히는 날
멋있다 저거.
윤호? 아니, 버스로 올라갔어. 그지?
오,
지금 윤호가 크로마 안 있는 거 아니야?
저걸 진짜로 뛰었나요?
맞네. 크로마 아니네, 윤호가. 금기놀이 했어요.
기도 있어요. 와, 난 이 씬이 너무 멋있어.
가수를 끌고 묵묵히 걸어가는.
여기 봐.
뭐야?
저 진짜로? 저 CG 아닌가?
뭐야? 아직 뭐야? 뭐야? 뭔가
저희 폴스트 때 있던 거 아닌가요?
그건 다리요.
그건 다 해.
좀 연기 좀 한데.
오늘 빨간 머리 잘 보이네.
에이. 우와. 힙합.
나 처음 봐. 우와.
잘 나왔다.
그래서 메이저님이 멋있다. 안 올려줬어.
아니 올렸어. 올렸어.
아, 근데 파트를 일부러 교차 편집 엄청 많이 하셨네. 멋있다.
여기 분위기가 있어.
여기 너무 좋았어. 아, 여기 로켓들이 다 되게.
묵묵히 불을 봐요.
카메라 짱이다. 아, 이거 근데 세상에 얼굴 열리가네.
그거 열렸죠. 그렇다.
이거지.
뭐야? 저 근데 되게 느낌 엄청 좋아.
아, 얘가 정말 주인공이야? 멋있는데? 좋은데? 저거는 CG 아니었어. 저 CG인가? 아니야, 저거 우리 진짜 했어.
넘어가는 건 진짜야. 무릎 끌어당겨.
되게 신기하다.
색감이 나오나? 그걸 끌어내려고.
They all look so beautiful.
오, 좋다. 오! 내가 저거 끌어내려고 막 한다고 그래요.
되게 멋있다.
펀치 때부터 저거는 약간
떨어진다. 내렸어. 제발.
잘 잡아줬다.
오,
뭐야?
맞아, 지금 먹었어?
쿠키.
나 먹었다. 꿀꺽. 배부르다.
너야? 오 쿠키 나온다.
어?
나무 보는 것 같아.
걔네다.
걔네네. 뭐야? 누구야? 누구인가?
있어.
아.
그런 게 있어.
영화 보는 것 같아.
소름 돋았어.
위에서 지켜보고 있는 건가?
그런 것 같은데?
지켜보다 간다 이제.
가는데? 쟤 어디 가냐?
집에 가서 소름 돋았어. 촬영 끝날 때 소름.
시원이게요.
소름 돋았어. 촬영 끝날 때 집에 가서
마지막에 좀
오.
소름 돋았어. 근데 이거 약간 좀 약간 진짜 한 번 더 보고 싶은 약간 딱 보니까 한 번 더 보고 싶다.
더 보자. 끝나고 따로 더 보자.
아, 이번엔 너무 좋다.
너무 멋있게 나왔다.
확실히 스케일 크게 찍은 만큼 멋있게 잘 나와.
기승전결이 너무 좋은 것 같아.
맞아.
동그란 게 뭔지가 너무 궁금해.
중요한 게 뭐가?
아 이렇게 얘기해.
아, 오케이, 다시. 내가 괜히
확실히 감동을 모른다.
아 동그란 게
그거 죽여 뭘까? 모르겠어. 나도 그냥 저거 당기라고 해야 당겼어? 나 당겼어.
그러면 여기서 봤을 때 저희 이번 활동 열심히 좀 할게요.
네.
내일부터 이제 컴백인데 아마 영상 보실 때쯤에는 이미 뮤직비디오를 보고 계실 테니까 에이티즈 할라지아 뮤직비디오 많이 사랑해 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 그럼 지금까지 에이티즈였습니다. 둘, 셋.
에이티즈 감사합니다. 안녕. 파이팅.
I think I've said enough. I think I've said everything there is to say right now at this moment. If you listen to everything, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I think this was the first time that I'm doing this whole in-depth thing for ATEEZ, but it's just, I had to. This just merits it. This was necessary. All right. Thank you so much for joining me on my couch. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one. 안녕.